Thundergrunt.
Warning! The following program may contain adult or offensive language, excessive drinking, extra lives, heavy nostalgia, dragons, and general dipshittery. Listener discretion is advised.
Holy shit! Welcome to MAGCast, the official podcast of the Music and Gaming Festival. My name is Big Adam, and I am the host of this teeny tiny episode.
It's going to be intimate.
It's going to be a little teeny tiny one.
Yeah.
It's just three of us here. We're going to do super informal introductions this time.
Wow.
We're going to break format entirely. Yeah, the 45-minute intro.
I mean, I just realized the intro music should have been some like Candlelight remix or something. It's an evening with MAGCast.
And you've heard all of the voices here today. It's just the three of us. It's just me, Ryan, and Mike TV.
It's cozy in here. You know?
It is.
We're gonna have some heart-to-hearts.
Well, no, it's
really break things down.
It's kind of annoying because like I cleared out stuff, and this room is so much more spacious now.
Yeah, that's
like
true.
it wasn't going to be cramped at all, and then nobody showed up. So I
Ryan's-
guess it feels even more spacious than it would have.
Ryan's little tech cave now has more floor space. There's so much room for activities down here.
So much
There's
room for activities.
So much more room for activities.
We could record this while playing Twister if we wanted to. Really.
That's
could.
actually, given the dimensions, I think if we move these guitars, I think you're right.
Yeah.
That said, I do not want to play Twister with you, Adam. That would
That would get real sweaty real quick.
Yeah,
That would be a very moist game.
I feel like you would crush me.
There's a good chance of that.
Yeah.
I do not have good balance.
No.
I am not a graceful being.
No.
Yeah.
Not in the least.
Well, this is episode 43. The 3, I guess, is appropriate.
Yeah, there
In
you go.
43, if I'm really reaching for
It's
things
for
to
the
mean
three.
something,
Yeah,
it's for the three of us.
Yeah.
yeah, and no one else.
We're reaching. We're reaching real hard.
I
But
mean,
that's okay.
that's par for the course.
It's
really.
true. You're not wrong.
That's what we do every week, every other week, I should say.
Let's talk about MAGFest news, because we do have
All right.
we do have some things.
If you insist.
I know MAGFest is pretty much the worst. I mean, one of us doesn't even work for MAGFest anymore. I'm not
I
really
know.
sure what he's still doing here.
I know.
He
why
asks
am
himself that every time he comes here.
Why
Who
am I
knows?
here? I don't know.
Because I drink Ryan's whiskey.
Let's see. This coming weekend, we've got PAX East. For all of you going to PAX East, MAGFest presents the PAX East 2016 Jam Space.
Dag.
They're going to have all kinds of chiptune shows brought to you by 8-Bit Boston. They're going to be there all weekend. It's going to be a blast.
How big is that event now? Is that like
PAX?
Yeah, is that
30, 40,000. It's huge.
Oh, I thought it was like even higher than that. So
I mean, it might be. I'm thinking of 3-day badges. I bet you they have another couple thousand at least of their dailies.
right.
I don't have the real numbers.
I mean, I think what it is like they sell out almost instantaneously. So, like, whatever the cap is on the Boston Convention Center, it's that many
That's
tickets.
okay.
Right. Something else of note, MAGFest 2017 is now accepting performer submissions.
And
the
they're
truth.
closed.
In the time that I announced to the time that Mike said closed, that's they're done.
This comes out on like this Thursday,
This comes out
right?
no, it'll be open for a couple months.
Okay.
They get a couple hundred. Ryan, you're privy to this.
We get a lot of
You
applications.
get what, like 300 band applications? Is that correct?
Probably more.
Band and chip.
Yeah, music applications we probably get at least 300.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah, it's a little crazy.
That's incredible. I appreciate what you guys do, but I am not jealous of that workload at all.
So go ahead, Barry
Delegation.
Ryan Meyer.
Yeah,
under work.
big time delegation.
No, delegation.
Yeah.
Not going to bury me under anything.
You know, you should just get one of those scripts that like headhunters use to basically go through a bunch of resumes, pick out some keywords, and then like negate some other words. Just like, what are things that you look for? What are things that you
Synergy.
Synergy.
Teamwork. Communication.
Ooh.
all good.
Okay.
I like those
Loner. Solo. Those are both words that we filter out.
Okay,
My
so yeah,
gosh.
just run it through there. Anyone who says they're
myself.
solo act.
Hate games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Games is the word we look for.
Ooh.
Hate next to it, though, is definitely
Right,
negative.
right. There's algorithms for that, I'm sure. The next event that we've got after that, there's a lot going on in the MAGFest world right now.
Whoa.
We've got Game Over Denver.
Whoa.
So anybody,
Denver?
yeah, man.
What's that about?
Anybody in the Midwest who's within reasonable distance. I wouldn't want anybody to
I
go
was
crazy.
gonna say Midwest is a big
It's a
fucking
big area. Anybody in the Colorado area, definitely check out Game Over Denver. That's June 18th at the Marquee Theater. The lineup for this is absolutely ridiculous. Let me pull this up here. We've got Mega Ran, Danimal Cannon, Mike Zucker, who is incredible, and that's just 3 of a bunch of bands. There's a couple other acts that I've never heard of, so I can't. I don't know about anything about them. I'm sure they're incredible. I know this whole thing is being put together by Mike Zucker himself. Dude's been in the video game scene for a very, very long time. He's one of the founding members of This Place is Haunted, which is one of the OG video game bands.
Right.
Yeah.
So is Mike these days, like for his stage name, just going by Mike Zucker?
Yep.
Good
And
on you, buddy.
He's releasing albums under Michael Zucker and everything, yeah.
I think that is the only person I have heard of in the VG music scene that's actually just
Going by
using
his
their
real
name. Yeah.
Yep.
Good for you, bud.
Sweet.
And I'm not going to spoil too much. Little exclusive here. Mr. Mike Zucker may be paying a visit to Baltimore this summer.
Oh, really?
Snap.
Oh.
We have a lovely aquarium. That's probably why.
An entirely unrelated,
That's what you got.
entirely
nothing
unrelated
to do with
news.
video game music.
BitGen's coming up, right?
I don't know about a BitGen. I haven't hit that part of my list yet. Let's just continue on here.
And if you're in Baltimore for BitGen, really, you should check out the aquarium. It is lovely.
Actually, that is the next thing on my list. So,
But if you're in Baltimore for
that's
BitGen,
segue.
you should go to Denver.
Yeah.
They probably have an aquarium too.
The Denver Aquarium, is that a
Do
thing?
you think? I don't know. I mean, it's landlocked.
But that doesn't mean that they don't
They still
have
have
the
water.
ability to have water.
Yeah, I know.
That-
It's just
see,
it feels
that
It
would
is
like,
a
make-
basic of human existence.
I feel like
feels
it's
like
even
it'd be
more
harder
likely that
there.
they'd have an aquarium
Yeah, I
because,
guess
like,
so.
they don't get to see fish in the real water, so they want to see them
It's
somewhere.
like us wanting to see polar bears. It's
Yeah.
just like we don't got no
They
polar.
have to import the fish
true.
to Denver because they don't
I
have
mean,
the
it's just.
ocean.
It seems like it'd be harder.
Oh, it's definitely
Yeah,
harder.
it's probably a less impressive aquarium.
Right.
You think it's
but-
easy for us to get giraffes?
No.
All right then.
But there's more heart
we're
put
on
into
a port,
it.
though. You know.
Oh, we are on a port. You're right about that. So yeah, BitGen is the next thing on the list. That's going to be July 30th at the Auto Bar. That is confirmed. The updates are going to be coming fast and quick starting May 30th. That's a Monday. We have 10 confirmed acts. We're going to be releasing 2 different acts each day for that whole week.
Whoa.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. With Friday's 2 headlining releases, and short little bio blurbs, we're also going to be dropping the new poster because JD of Ghost Bat is doing our illustrations this year. Definitely check out facebook.com/ghostbat for all of your illustration needs. He does commissions for an incredibly reasonable price. He's one of the most talented artists out there in Baltimore right now. Love that guy to death. So see him, buy lots of art. That's Adam's official spend all your money promotion. Visit GhostBat. If you can't find it, just hit me up on Facebook. I'm easy enough to find, and I'll lead you in the right direction. Right after that, we have Magfest Laboratories, which is short. Why we shorten it to Mag Labs to make it a little easier to say. But Zach Star Wars came up with something on Facebook the other day. Blew my mind entirely. And I don't know why it's not being used at all times. And it should just be called MagTest. They want to test out new functionalities. They want to test out new events. It should be called MagTest.
I mean, that seems like the logical way to go.
It's
Maybe if we here at MagCast and all of our listeners start just calling it MagTest, we can gain zero traction because there's nowhere near enough people to do that. But let's do it anyway.
Yeah, I agree. I'm going to call it MagTest
All right,
from now on.
MagTest.
I already have. I already talked to Dom and Nick about this. They were like, yeah, but we've already put everything out and branded and gotten everything. And I'm like, yeah, but you've done this every year. We changed the name of this summer event every goddamn year. Or not summer. It's more like fall. But still, every year it's going to be something different. Next year it'll be called something else entirely irrelevant to anything with the event.
You know, if they ever do an event that they think is just the peak of the MagFest experience, they should call that MagCrest.
Ooh. Yeah.
Or MagBest.
MagBest.
God, that is better.
Yeah, I thought that's where you were going.
Yeah, you know what? I was so pleased with myself for coming up with the crest.
Maybe
Crest is
Mag
good
Zenith.
MagCrest maybe
No.
for like a beach. Beach theme.
I was thinking for like a royal ball.
Yeah, that
Well,
could be good too.
that's we need to come up with the Mag crest to
yeah.
put on all our promotional material.
Okay.
Is the square wave the Mag crest? I feel like a crest needs to be 4 different things. Though, right?
I feel
Yeah,
like
it
you
needs
need
to be
like
in a
emblazoned
shield
on a
design.
shield.
Yeah.
All right, so we need to come up with 3 other things to put on the shield with the square wave.
I think we could do that.
Let's see.
If you've got an idea for what could be the Mag crest, send your drawing submission to us at podcast@magfest.org. It doesn't
Thanks,
hold
Mike.
as much weight when it's just me and you.
I know it doesn't.
I'm going to throw this out there. I think one quadrant should be a DJ getting hustled away from a hallway.
Okay.
That's so much detail for a quadrant of a crest.
Hey,
can do it.
go big or go home.
Oh, man.
If you're going to have a crest, have a good fucking crest.
I suppose.
Yeah, I think another quadrant should be hallway food.
Hallway food?
Like someone sitting on the side of a hallway eating food, you mean? Or-
Someone sitting like outside of a room stealing someone else's food.
Oh.
No, that was one person that you know that did that.
There were much more. There had to be more.
I only can
It's not
confirm
just
one
Casella.
person. It's just Casella. He's the only one that did that.
I'm sure there were.
He was so
other people.
happy with himself. He
I
was like, this
mean-
food was untouched, so I just took it. It's just,
Nice.
I mean,
All right.
it's going green, man.
Yeah, I suppose so.
Yeah.
And the
It's
fourth-
also saving green.
And the 4th one should be the SWAT team.
Good God.
A fire alarm going off.
Oh yeah, that should absolutely be it.
One
Like legitimately, we should put the fire
one
alarm.
should
on
just
there.
be a fire alarm with the alarm sounds like whoop
Yeah.
whoop written
Yeah.
under it.
An elevator jammed with people.
Oh
Yeah.
God. There's
Elevator
that's-
party.
How many quadrants do you think are on a shield?
I'm giving people
The
different
word
ideas.
quadrant specifically,
know.
I believe. No, that doesn't mean 4. It should though.
The quad.
Quad
Does
means
it?
4, yeah.
4.
Oh, I was right.
Yeah.
Look at me using my brain think words. Yeah.
You just gotta
And
believe
it's
in
gone.
yourself.
Got
Adam.
him. Got him. Mag test is going to be September 9th through 11th. By the way, I have a theory. A conspiracy theory.
Ooh.
I'm really upset that Orby's not here to agree with me because I'm sure he would buy into this. But I've confirmed Marinelli Gate.
Oh man,
100% confirmed it.
elaborate.
Magfest Laboratories, or MagTest as it is now known, is on September 9th through 11th.
Never forget.
September 9 through 11. 9/11, Marinelli Gate confirmed.
Damn.
It
Yeah,
all
That's
it all
pretty
works.
conclusive.
Yeah,
It's all there.
it's crazy.
I told him about it and he wouldn't comment. I told Dom about it and he said he would have it
I
looked
bet you
into.
laboratories is like an anagram for Al Qaeda or something, so that's why I
Yeah.
don't want to change it. I can spell really well because that's how I got
mean,
Al Qaeda from
I
laboratories.
feel like laboratory
A
is
little
one
bit
of
of
those words that might
clever.
have like Arabic roots.
Oh man, this is going
oh man,
deep.
this is getting deep.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Marinelli Gate confirmed. If you have any other thoughts about that, send it to our email. address
Hashtag
as well.
Marinelli Gate. Hashtag confirmed.
Hashtag Marinelli Gate.
Hashtag MagTest.
I sent this in all caps to Dom, and the first thing I said, I was just like, I was at work doing something, and I opened my Gmail to check my personal mail real quick because I was expecting an email, and I was just like, man, I should message Dom with something just insane, just out of the blue, not preface it with anything, and just in all caps, Dom, I have perfect reason to believe that Nick is a terrorist, and I just left it that way. And like 25 minutes later, he comes back with something like ... what? And I was like, yeah, man, follow this logic. And I laid it all out for him. And he was like, with proof like that, I'm going to have to investigate.
Nice.
I don't know that Nick's a terrorist. He's definitely a lizard person though. Because he's got those weird wiry little lizard like arms, you know.
No, he's so buff. P94.
I know, like lizards.
Are lizards buff?
Like Komodo dragons are, man.
I don't know, man.
Think about it.
I saw a video of a kangaroo once that was just jacked.
Yeah, well, Kangaroo Jack. That's what you watched.
No, I've never seen that movie.
That's what you're thinking of.
After
So-
Mag
So
Test.
I just realized if there were a gamer version of P90X, would it be N64X?
Oh, damn it. That's so good.
2600.
We should do that at MagTest this year alongside Gamer Yoga.
You know,
Do N64X.
You know one thing that I really always wanted to do, and you
What?
guys can steal this idea because it's not mine. I stole it off the internet. I want to get an Orioles jersey, but all the Orioles players, with the exception of a couple, are cycling in and out all the time. And by the time I have a weird curse, when I buy a jersey, the next year that player's gone. So I wanted to get like a custom jersey, but I didn't want my name on it because I'm not an athlete. I'm almost as far as you can get from an athlete. I was going to get the last name Nintendo and the number 64. I just thought that was a great idea, and I want to do that. And I just hope one day that I can save up the like $200 that it costs to get a custom jersey to do that, because it would be awesome and it'd be a lot of fun.
I thought you can get Commodore and be even more original.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Commodore 64.
I feel like,
but I never had a
I feel like if you're going to
C64.
get a Commodore 64, you should also get like a hat.
Yeah.
Like a Commodore hat.
Yeah. Well, that works for the people who don't understand the gaming reference, because they see the hat and Commodore on the back and they're like, "Yes, sir. Good to see you, sir." And then the nerds will all get the other reference.
Yeah, that's true.
Boss your way into places because people think you're an officer of something.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
No, but that's stolen valor, and that's how you get beat up in public by real people that earned their valor and will destroy me.
Okay, well that's...
I'm not a fan of getting beat up by
I
Marines.
get it, but it's like, it's obviously a joke. If you're saying,
I don't
you're
know,
a
man.
Commodore 64.
What if they don't know video games? I'm just saying I'm not going to get punched
I
in
mean,
the
you
face
make
by a
it
Marine.
obvious enough that it's not. Like, it's like the orange cap on a gun.
I don't want to risk it.
All right.
Okay, the orange cap on a gun saves a lot of people from nothing because people still get shot constantly.
Truth.
So let's not use that as the
All right,
defense.
no,
But I feel like no one is going to mistake a bright orange Orioles jersey for some sort of military attire.
No, it's the hat.
Right, but like you're
hat's
still
the
going to be
problem.
wearing it alongside.
Yeah, you're not
going
going
to
to be like a full uniform. You're just going to be like a officer hat.
That's true.
Also, like anyone who is actually like a high-ranking military officer is not going to be anywhere near pretentious enough to get their title written on the back of a baseball
That's
jersey.
true.
Like
That's probably true.
That's like
Who would do that?
African dictators. That's pretty much who's going to do that.
yeah,
Kim Jong-il, and that's about it.
And no offense, Adam, I don't think you can pull off the African dictator look.
I don't think I've got that in me. It's just my physique. I'm too round.
There's a lot of the round ones. They're just not huge.
No, but like
and
I'm
Swedish.
I'm not like royalty dictator round, like big. I'm just lazy American fat piece of shit round.
Hey, don't sell yourself short.
Oh no, I'm selling myself real big. That's the thing.
You can get there.
boom, got him.
But anyway, after
So-
MAGtests comes the big daddy of them all, and that's MAG 2017 at the Gaylord on January 5th through 8th.
Oh, yeah, that's right. We're right closer to New Year's again. This year.
Yeah.
Not over New Year's. Sad face, but
Yeah.
there was no way we would have been over New Year's given the day.
Right.
Thing.
So I'm really looking forward to getting back to a New Year's party at least like a couple days before, like we used to in days of yesteryear.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, I kind of like having New Year's parties with just kind of our core group of friends and just kind of hanging
No, I remember
out.
like 2 or 3. It was right after I moved back. We did New Year's here, and
Yeah.
then I woke up the next morning, hungover, packed my car, and went down to Magfest.
Yeah, we all did.
It was great.
And that was pretty cool, except the morning was horrible.
Yeah.
I think right after that, because Ashley drove me, and yeah, the first thing we did, like after we packed the cars, we went to Royal Farms, and I was like, I need Gatorade and greasy breakfast sandwiches to soak this garbage up.
Yep.
So yeah, that's all the MAGFest things that are coming up. Man, we got a huge calendar of events. There's definitely going to be more things thrown in along the way. I know that we're going to have some kind of presence at Artscape this year. I'm not 100% sure when Artscape is this year. I'm pretty sure it's toward the middle of July, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
And then we've got Magstock, of course. That's coming in June. I don't have the exact dates on me for that, but that's going to be a blast. Check out I think it's magstock stock.magfest.org or magstock.magfest.org.
Just Google Magstock.
Yeah, just Google Magstock. I'm a horrible host. I don't have the exact dates for that. I'll be there. I don't know when it is, but I will be there. It's going to be a
Wait,
good
if you don't
time.
know when it is, how do you know you're going to be there the right time? You're going to show up like the wrong weekend. You're going to be
Because
there
I
by
mean,
yourself.
I will figure it out before I go. It's not something that I can't research later.
I don't know.
You're currently looking at an iPad. I hope that you're Googling Magstock dates, because
Oh, no, I
that
was
would
just
be
trying
really
to-
convenient.
I was just looking up how to get out of doing some crappy podcast.
Oh, crappy,
I mean, yeah, I'm
crappy
looking at
podcast
Magstock dates.
avoidance.com.
It's a good site.
That is a good site. Orvie used it today. No, I give a little backstory. Huey's off doing managerial things with the company that he's going to inherit,
Womp
which is
womp.
cool. I mean, he's living his life, making them dollars.
I told him to set it on
Magstock.org.
fire, and I was
Magstock. Oh, it is
laughed
magstock.org? Well, okay. I didn't know we bought that domain. What are the dates?
Oh, I closed the page already.
You son of a bitch. You verified the URL but didn't get the dates.
I was looking up the URL. That's all.
Such a responsible guy.
efficiency.
What? Magstock 6.
Oh, shit.
When?
Oh, shit.
June 17th through 19th,
There it
2016.
is. Boom.
Where?
Mic dropped.
Small County Campground,
In
4400
Louisa, Virginia.
Bird Mill Road, Louisa, Virginia.
Yeah.
That is BYRD, not BIRD.
Ooh.
23093.
So those are the dates. Come hang out with us.
Tickets are $50. It might change. There's some pictures on here. Music and events. Lineup coming soon.
I will be bringing mucho beer, and I will be drinking all of it. And hopefully not. My campsite won't be at the bottom of a river this time.
Yeah, that would be good if it
That
wasn't.
was really goddamn depressing last year.
Yeah, that was not fun.
I
It was
mean,
not fun at all.
It's a funny story, at least now.
Now it is.
Yeah.
When I was there and having a full-blown panic attack, it was not fun.
I like to imagine you and Orvie as John Goodman and David Spade's characters in Emperor's New Groove, like tied to a log, being like
It was pretty
rushed down
bad.
a river.
My dog didn't freak out, though. Carmichael was just sitting on a waterbed that was literally floating in a mini river. Just like, oh, hey, Dad. I guess I'm on a boat now. He was totally fine. It was just literally the bed was like rocking,
Nice.
floating. And he was just hanging out. God, he's a little derp. That dog is...
I guess that's a good case for bringing air mattresses to Magstock if you're going to go. Just,
You might float away.
you might need that.
You run the risk of floating away.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I've already talked to the powers that be. We're not going to get a river site this year.
That's good.
So it'll be fun. We'll go. I'll have a good time. I'm sure of it. But yeah, I think that's it as far as MAGFest events in the future are concerned. I went to Limit Break, which we talked about on the last episode. Rare Candy played. Steel Samurai played. Master Sword played. And the Mountain Chiefs played. The Mountain Chiefs, that band is fucking awesome. Everybody knows Rare Candy is good. Everybody knows that Steel Samurai is good. Steel Samurai played their best show ever, by the way, at Limit Break.
Oh,
They
nice.
were actually really, really, really good. I'm saying that through third-hand experience because I just heard that was their best set ever. I walked in as like the last note played. I was running behind, and I missed their entire set.
Oh, no.
But everybody universally agreed that the Limit Break was the best Steel Samurai set yet. So that's awesome. I'm glad those guys are improving. They've been around for a long time. Then the Mountain Chiefs played, and these guys... They blew my mind. They were so good.
Were they all wearing like flannel shirts and lumberjack beards?
No, they're
they're garbage.
They were just three just regular dudes who were just doing their thing on stage, man, and it was super entertaining, and I loved every second of it.
All right.
And then Master Sword played. Their first show ever was at MAGFest this past year.
Nice.
They played. It's one of the only video game music bands that I know that have a dedicated vocalist. Steel Samurai does, but that's again one of the only ones. Besides them and like the megas, other than hip hop acts, there's not many.
Proto Man.
But they're not a VGM band.
That's fair.
So they do a lot of Legend of Zelda covers.
Shocking.
Yeah, right. They're pretty cool. They were a lot of fun to watch. They were very proggy. Think Dream Theater. Think Sonata Arctica. That kind of thing. It was pretty cool. Enjoyed it. And then Rare Candy played and hammed out real hard, and that was a lot of fun to watch. And we did that for a while, so that was good times. What else has been going on? I think that's it for as far as MAGFest stuff is concerned.
Speaking of the Proto Men, they're on tour now.
They are.
I think actually today, as of recording, is their first show on their tour. I've got their email right here. So if you're in Cleveland, Buffalo, Toronto, Boston, Philadelphia, Grand Rapids, Michigan, Indianapolis, or Chicago, go and check them out sometime in the next week and a half. They put on a hell of a show.
They are playing with Danimal and Bit Brigade.
They're playing with Bit Brigade and Math the Band.
Oh, Bit Brigade. I love those guys. They're so good. Everybody knows I love the Proto Men. I don't need to re-exclaim that every episode because I would if I had to.
Truth. Another word that is in our auto search for the music applications that gives you bonus points. if in the name of act, it's just the Proto Men. That's just
that's a guaranteed acceptance. No. We don't have those. Every application is looked over equally. Let's just Put that out there.
Do you
Equally.
have Proto-Mans?
Every application is looked over equal. No, Proto-Mans is like 8 million negative votes.
Yeah, that's like
that one goes at the bottom of the list.
Right.
Yeah, but the bottom of the list is where the very last entry, which is where the Proto-Mans lived, for some reason gets to headline MAGCast. I don't know what happens.
That's what we do. We
They
look
do
at
it reverse order.
That's how we do
MAGCast.
when we're booking the headliner. We're like, all right, we want to find the crappiest act possible. Who rated the absolute worst on our form? And it's always the Proto-Mans. I don't know how that happens.
It always happens.
Yeah.
I sent in the last couple applications and I thought I did well, but apparently that's not the case.
It's not so much that there was a problem with the application. It was more the material.
The content of the
content.
band. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
It's just pure, fresh, just Chinese food, old dumpster garbage.
They do a quick
that's been a
YouTube
while.
search, and it's
Throwback.
just like, well, my ears are bleeding now. So
Yeah. It's pretty fun.
Full on glory train, I believe, is my favorite description.
From the Proto-Men themselves.
Oh, yeah.
We got described as a full-on glory train.
that sounds like a sex act you do in a bathroom.
And that's exactly what we need to be labeled after.
All right.
Because if we're not as equally regrettable as a sex act done in a bathroom, then we're doing it wrong.
That sounds like an airport bathroom in like
Grand Rapids, Michigan.
yeah, that's a good one. Grand Rapids, Michigan, where it's like every stall has a line or has a hole like drilled into it. So it's just glory hole after glory hole after glory. It's like a human centipede of glory holes right there.
That's quite the visual that you just built right there.
Thank you. I try.
Good God. That's
Man.
horrifying.
I'm not sure
That's
I
the
want to go to
Proto-Mans.
those shows anymore.
Again, not that I would know. When I actually went to go see a Proto-Man show, the lead singer told me it was a waste of time to stay. So I went and played Mega Man X instead.
So he left.
Yeah.
He is-
Oh God.
that is a wise man. That whoever their lead singer is, he knows his stuff.
He knows his shit. That's for
I figured he'd know better than anyone.
He would.
True.
Yeah.
He would.
I think every show that they do is always like an hour or two late. That's just par for the course.
So this is more of a personal thing and not a MAGFest thing, obviously. But me and Ashley are getting ready to launch our wedding website that goes like all of our stuff, and it's going to have the registries tied in and all. But it has the wedding party listed, and Ryan is the best man of my wedding. And the picture that we chose for you,
Oh no!
is it's from one of our shows from the
course.
band playing, but it's actually a shot of just me and you.
Uh-huh.
How it's angled is money. And it's me playing drums in the background, looking kind of at you for a cue.
Uh-huh.
And it's you wearing the beard,
Oh Lord!
and you're just like death eyes on your piano. The picture is perfect.
All right, I'm excited.
And it's black and white, so it just
Oh,
adds that
even
extra
better,
artsy
yeah.
value.
Oh, wow.
Oh yeah,
There's
great.
There's a couple pictures from our shows that I thought were like. There's one really good one. Somebody got. I mean, we must have been doing the freestyle or the Do Vendetta or something. And it's just, or no, it was either that or Will of One. And it's just like camera right in my face, and I'm just like pointing at it, and it's just that death rock low. Oh, man, it was so good.
All right, I have a few questions.
If
for
nothing
you.
else, our band is very photogenic. And by photogenic, I mean if you capture us right and you're a good photographer that can make assholes look good, then we're very
You can make us
photogenic.
look good. Yeah.
So I have a few questions for you.
Okay.
One,
Yes.
will there be any Proto-Mans references during the ceremony?
I'm working on it.
Okay. Two, will the Proto-Mans be playing at the reception
No.
in any way, shape, or form?
Man, I fucking wish.
Dude, I offered.
You did. You did.
Ashley was asking for first dance songs, and I gave her. What was the shit? Oh man, Take My Breath Away. I was like, I suggested that one, and then right below it, I was like, I bet you if you asked nice, you could get the Proto-Mans to cover that for you too.
I mean,
Yeah.
you could offer, you could like make a name for like a different.
There is a
band
piano on site.
and do like
a real grand piano.
Yeah.
Oh man, there's something's going down.
Just
Might not be
reform
the
yourselves as a
Proto-Mans.
new
We
band.
asked if people could play it because I was like, I have a bunch of pianist friends coming out. She was like, yeah, absolutely, people can play it as long as they treat it well. And I was like, all my friends are actual musicians. It's fine. So, yeah,
Just rename yourself as a different band for that day and be
right.
like, you know.
we've already done the rename thing. We have a whole backlog of
Well,
names.
you know,
Rush
do like the bill yourselves as like, you know, kind of Love Cannon light, Love Cannon but affordable for
So
this,
Hate Pistol?
this venue. Yeah,
Hate Pistol.
there you go.
it's more like hate crossbow.
And then when you show up, Ashley's just like, what are you douchebags doing? It's like, we're the band you hired. And you could start out with the 80s references, or the 80s songs, sorry. And as the night goes on, you can do your
Yeah, but he's
going to
be busy doing best man things.
He gives a
I can
toast
I
at the
can do best
reception.
man things with a guitar around my shoulder.
Yeah.
I'll just wander around while I'm
But
doing
I've already
stuff,
hired
just
our DJ.
doing-
I hired Aaron Keating. He's a goddamn good party DJ.
He is a good party DJ.
Well, if he ever
Ashley
needs-
told
if-
me that my job was to make her job's the ceremony and to make it pretty and awesome, and I'm going to respect that and be adult-like as best as I can. I already told her that my vows are going to be fucking crazy goofy, and she's basically accepted that with some stipulations. But
Yeah,
she told
sounds
me
about right.
that after dinner is my job, and that's to bring the party.
She is going to regret that.
I walked up to Aaron Keating and I said, "You're DJing my wedding." I gave him the date, and I said, "I need one thing from you and one thing only." And he was like,
the
"What's up,
electric
buddy?"
slide.
And I said, No. I said, "I need you to bring the fucking party." And I tapped him on the chest, and I said, "I'm trusting in you." He's like, "Oh, you know I got you." And I was like, "There it is."
Well,
Aaron's going to bring the noise.
All right.
if he needs a break, I'm sure Brant and I can throw together a nice acoustic 80s set.
I
Fuck
wouldn't
that
doubt
guy.
that at all.
Fuck that guy.
Oh,
That's true. All right, fine. I can throw together a nice acoustic 80s
Good.
set with no assistance
Good.
whatsoever.
Fuck that guy. Oh, I'm so mad at him, and now I'm mad at his girlfriend too. Thunder Stealers. That's what they are. Thunder Stealers.
Brant doesn't have a girlfriend.
Jonna?
No, they're best friends.
Oh. Well, fuck both of them. I don't
Wow.
care.
There that is.
Oh, my God.
Speaking of this attitude right here, I was going to save this story. I told you last night. So I went to a good friend of ours, Greg.
Okay.
He had a
Greg
bonfire.
Chepernica.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
He had a bonfire the other night. First of the spring. I went to celebrate the opening of spring with some friends. This is a good night. Ashley was working that night. I was like, I'll go drink a couple beers with my buddies by a fire. Why not? So we're all sitting around, and this guy walks up with his lady, and he's like, "Oh, you guys are all Magfest crew." After he introduces himself, and we were like, "Yeah," and I was hanging out with Zeril, who doesn't do Magfest stuff anymore. He retired a couple years ago, but he was there hanging out. I was like, "Well, he's ex Magfest, but we still hang out." He's like, "Oh, Magfest ex. Do you guys know Mike Ridgeway?" And I was like, "Yeah, I know Mike. Absolutely. He's on a podcast with me. I've known him for years." He goes, "Is he coming tonight?" And I was like, "No, I don't think so. I think he's probably busy with the baby,
Yeah.
doing the dad thing at home." Yeah. he was like, "Oh, okay. Yeah, I know that guy from some other friend circles. That guy's kind of a dick." And I was like, "We're talking about the same guy. That's him."
Oh, so who was this?
I'm going to leave his name out.
No, tell me.
Nah,
Dude.
I don't need to.
All right, so it's probably...
Oh, I'd love to. If you guess his name, I will say yes. I promise.
All right.
You get 3 guesses.
Oh, I'm trying to think if it's probably not from Bros, because you would probably tell me if it's from Bros.
No, this is an outside of Magfest Bro circle.
Outside of Magfest Bros
Mm-hmm.
circle. It's probably
God.
not my D&D buddies.
If you land on this, it's.
Where's Greg live?
I'm giving absolutely no more hints other than not Magfest or not.
Where does
Bros.
Greg live, though? Tell me that.
He lives. I'll give you the area, not his address. It's
Okay.
Ellicott City.
Ellicott City.
But that doesn't mean anything because there's people from 3 different states there.
Yeah. Oh, man. Okay.
Man, this is
Dude,
so
when
exciting.
he walked, and then we had the it was lighthearted, obviously, but we had the
No,
Mike
that's
TV
fine.
is absolutely a dildo powwow. It was like me, Zach Star Wars, and this guy, and we're that guy's a fucking dildo.
Yeah, no, that's fine. God, I want to get on Facebook and now cross-reference.
All right, that's your homework for next time. See if you can gather who this
by the end
was.
of the episode. I'm gonna use the internet. I'm only got 3 guesses.
You're gonna. Oh God, he's cheating by using
Yeah,
technology.
'cause
This
I'm
has
a
to be off the
dildo.
top of your head. Oh, that's true.
That's true.
That's true. He did do that.
All right.
Okay, so let's I guess we can go into a little bit of gaming news. This is going to be a shorter episode because we.
I feel I should qualify why Jana is awful.
Okay.
She's
not, by the way, but go ahead.
No, she is. So I have been working on getting Huey a playable copy of Castlevania Symphony of the Night for the Sega Saturn.
You posted a screenshot online.
I did.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like a convoluted process. I had to order. It's like a $100 game at least, probably these days. And
it's about $150 at least.
Oh, good, fine. So yeah, and you need to mod a Saturn and all that crap.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually ended up buying this cart that you can plug into the back of a Saturn and it'll like unregion lock it, but won't let you play bootlegs.
Yeah, you told us the process last episode.
Okay, so I found a different process where it's much easier.
Okay,
where it's like you can you burn this software to a disk, you pop it in the Saturn, you do the swap trick, and you use that disk to flash like homebrew software to the cart. Basically, it makes it like a plug-inable mod chip. Okay. And so you can play bootlegs, you can play region lock stuff. And so I burned a copy of Symphony of the Night to try it out. And I was like, shit, it works. Awesome. And I was like, hey, Huey, look at this. He's like, oh, crap. And I'm like, yeah, I'll let you borrow it, dude, because you're my friend. And I've been wanting to do this for you. And then John is just like, oh, I have a modded Saturn in the house. Do you want to play it that way? And he's like, sure. I'm like, fuck you. Fuck you. I had this plan like for a year and you're just like, oh yeah, I could have done this anytime. So fuck you, Jonna. Fuck you, Brant. You're both the worst. I hate you. You're Thunder Steelers. God damn it.
The one time Mike decides to go out of his way to be super nice to somebody, he gets shit on.
I know. It was the goddamn worst.
Jesus Christ. That's no. Jonna just may have earned her spot as in the best friend club for me.
Fuck.
That's incredible. She's just like, BT dubs.
Yeah.
All that work was for naught. You can just play it at home.
I mean, it's not for nothing because I can still like play the.
Why don't you play the unreleased levels?
I don't. It's not. They're apparently not very good. Huey,
I think I've heard Huey say the same thing.
Yeah. But he really wants to play them. There's other Saturn stuff like I definitely want to play. And any good Saturn game these days is probably about $100.
Right. Yeah. Unless you're looking for Radiant Silvergun, and that is like $450.
Yeah.
Sealed is like $575.
Because like the system.
Have you ever played Radiant Silvergun?
I haven't.
It's a very good game. It's basically Ikaruga Light. It's the predecessor to Ikaruga.
Yeah, no, I want to play it. There's a whole bunch of Saturn stuff.
I've never played an actual copy of the
bankrupting
game.
Myself.
Right. I've never played an actual copy of the game because I've never owned one or known anybody who has owned one. But I've totally played an emulated copy of the game, and it's a pretty fun game. It's balls hard. It's super difficult. I didn't make it past the second level, I don't think.
I mean, I'll try them. I don't have to like.
Right. Especially if you just burn them off.
Yeah.
It's not like Sega's losing money on the hardware anymore.
Was it Noonan?
No. One guess. No, it was not.
Okay. David Noonan? That's the full
No, I know who Noonan is.
Okay.
So while he's doing that, some cool
Jeff McClinsky.
What's his name?
Jeff McClinsky.
Let me see a picture. The first name's correct. Oh yeah, that's him. Yep. He firmly believes that you're.
That's
a dildo.
okay. Jeff's kind of an asshole too.
No, that's fine.
Yeah.
All right. So where do you know him from?
Actually, I do know him from D&D. He is a friend of my other friend Jeff.
That is accurate.
All
these stories all match up.
I play. Jeff's in my regular D&D group, and I played a few games with Jeff McClinsky. And okay.
He's a hardcore roleplay guy.
He is. He's written his own like world and like book and gotten published.
He plays the game. He does like actual like Gen Con is a role playing convention that has spawned into other areas. He has like people pay to come play his table for an hour.
Yep.
Oh wow.
Like legitimate has the way he runs his games has an entire world of lore. Like he's done the whole thing.
Wow, that's sweet.
It's pretty cool. He's very convicted into his craft, which is awesome.
That's great.
We had a conversation about it. I was very honest with him. I was like, I play D&D on the side for fun with friends.
Mm-hmm.
I've played with Mike before. I've played with other people that we play. Like, I'm not good at it. I just like doing it. It's a lot of fun to sit and drink a beer with a friend and pretend you're doing magic things. I was like, but I couldn't imagine going to a convention and paying money to sit down and play D&D. Like, that's not my bag. If that's your passion, all for it, dude. I know people that couldn't even fathom coming to a convention to sit in concerts all night or to stand around and play arcade machines till 4 a.m. I love that shit.
Yeah,
so.
totally.
It's interesting with D&D, and this is something I've realized within the last year or so. I'm lucky that I have a good group. There are lots of people out there that they really want to play, but they just have terrible luck getting a group of people together.
Yeah.
Whether it's like your personalities just don't gel, someone's not that into it, and like kind of ruins it. And there's a difference between there's a difference between say Bob and Phil. Bob and Phil will get into it.
Phil will get super into it. He loves rolling dice.
But they're gonna
Bob
play
wants
a
to see
certain
how
way.
ridiculous he can get.
And he will do that, though. I was helping to tame him, between Tyler and I, we helped tame him in the last game because he asked me to make him a character.
The last time, yeah.
Well, I made him a lawful monk,
right? And he
so,
had to follow the rules of being lawful.
Yeah,
and he could not. Man, he was angry. He
was
like, I want to do all this crazy shit. And we're like, you can't. That doesn't follow your alignment.
But
at all.
It was great because he started to get creative. It's like, okay, how can I legally kill someone? And it's just like, you could do this. He's
how can I legally shit all over everyone?
Yeah, but it makes you actually think and put some work into it.
Right.
So
speaking of that group specifically, Tyler told me recently that he's going to get that group back together.
Good.
But
we need to finish that game.
It's going to be more. He wants to have it more serious and more focused.
Okay,
but not too serious and not too focused. Because the last game we played went off the rails.
I mean, I feel like
not as much as apparently the game before I came along,
no,
but it went off the rails.
That was the game I ran, and that was the game where I let them do anything.
Right.
But I also built in consequences. So when Phil cut a guy down in a marketplace for grabbing his junk at him,
right?
He got arrested and he got thrown in jail. And I was about to ship his character off to hard labor when he stumbled ass backwards into the one single thing I put in there, and it was completely by accident. Like, I was describing like the holding area, and I said, there's a bunch of young guys, kind of look like, they're just guys who got picked up for pickpocketing, whatnot. They're in here for a little bit, and there's like an older guy in the corner. And I was thinking to myself afterwards, like, well, shit, this is just a holding area. What's an older guy that's been there for a while doing? And I was just like, oh, well, he's like he used to be a member of a noble house, but he was like, got into this cult, and his brother, like, the cult got deposed, and his brother didn't want to see him shipped away. So he basically made this deal. It's like, okay, he'll be held in the city so his brother can still come and see him.
Right.
But he's not like allowed out. And then Phil's just like, I'm in prison. I'm going to find religion. Hey, does anyone here have any religion? And it was like, well, of course the weird cultist is going to stand up.
Right.
And then he's going to basically use his brother to get Phil out of prison. And it was like, God damn it, Phil! You're the luckiest motherfucker. You really figured out that one tiny little thread.
When it
you
comes
could pull.
to D&D, he's the
good.
luckiest bastard in the world.
He almost got left to die in an alley.
He always rolls like shit unless it absolutely needs to happen, and then he like crits every time.
Nice.
He got killed at the end of that campaign, I think.
Oh, really?
He got killed, and Tyler laughed because Phil, a game earlier, basically got scared away from a fight, which then Tyler's just like, oh, I'm going to go be like the muscle. Tyler was a rogue. Fighting like a really powerful anti-paladin.
Right.
And Tyler got turbo murdered. Meanwhile...
Turbo murdered's a good way to put that.
Meanwhile, Smelly is playing a wizard, I think, and he's got this powerful artifact from the druid, and the druid's just like, only use this in emergency. It's very powerful. And he's just like, oh... He's playing like with like video game logic. He's like, never use an item. And he's just like, oh, I don't know if I should use this. Maybe it's not that emergency. And Tyler's just like, I'm dying. And yeah, that's almost a total party kill. Tyler dies. Smelly gets captured. Phil pieces the fuck out.
Doesn't surprise me.
He comes back, sees the rest of the party dead. He's just like, peace. And Smelly's just like, man, yeah, I guess maybe I should have used that. I was just like, yeah, the dude told you to use it in emergencies. I'm pretty sure your friend's getting slaughtered is an emergency.
I think that constitutes emergency.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a fun game.
Ryan, you've been playing D&D online.
Yeah.
How's that going?
What's that app again?
It's called Fantasy Grounds.
And how much does that cost?
I think it's like the DM has to pay for it. Or it's free for everybody else.
Oh, okay.
Essentially, getting the content is costs money. And I think it's like by the module and stuff.
Man,
so I think it's probably comparable to buying like the books for real. But if you're just playing, you can download like the demo version.
I really want somebody to start a game of that so I can play it.
Is that through awesome. Like Wizards of the Coast or?
Is it, I think
independent
the
thing?
Content is like worked out with them. I don't know if they run the app or not, but I'm sure they have something like you can get it's all official, like all the official books and modules.
Yeah, well, then it's got to be affiliated to someone.
Yeah, I'm sure they have some agreement or whatever. But no, it's cool. It's nice. I played with a friend of mine from work, actually 2 friends from work, and then a couple of their friends from outside of work, and it's really cool. Yeah, should do a MAGCast D&D.
Dude, I'm so into it.
We can just like record it and
see how much it is to buy it, and we can all pitch in.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if we're gonna do MAGCast D&D, we could also just play around a table.
That's true.
With real dice and real humans.
I did buy
and
dice
real
specifically
pizza.
to start role playing again, and never have gotten around to using them, which is a goddamn shame. So,
I mean, if you guys want to do something like that, I could run it.
Yeah. Done.
Let's do it. MAGCast plays.
I bought translucent dice so they're evenly weighted, and I can prove it. Because I don't buy solid dice anymore. After seeing that video where the guy's like checking the weight of his dice.
See, I have a dangerous die I love to use because it's only 1s or 20s pretty much. Like
nice.
You're either going to fail horribly or just like blow everyone away.
Right.
And I hate when I get crit fails, but goddamn if they aren't funny.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. We're going to cut this one a little short. I do have 2 emails, unless anybody else wanted to go over anything.
Did we want to do a quick what are we playing?
We could do that. Actually, that's some fairly important game news, or important to me at least.
Oh my!
I've been playing a bit of The Division still. I really like it. There's a big controversy right now. A big controversy.
Oh my!
Yeah. So there is a raid style event, an end game style event called an Incursion that they just put in.
Okay.
A couple weeks ago, and essentially. Once you're high enough level, you go to the Incursion. You group up with a group of friends, and like I said, it's like a raid. It takes about an hour to complete if you play it through correctly. Well, of course, people who are looking for easy ways to get the best things at all times without having to work for them found a way that you can actually glitch in a certain way. I've actually never done it. I've never done the Incursion yet. I haven't had the time to sit down with a group of people and do the Incursion, glitchy or regular. But anyway, they found a way to do something in a series of events that essentially spawns the end boss, the big guy, with no backup around him, and he's just flying solo.
What is a boss in The Division?
It's just like a person.
Okay,
it's just like it's a human. It's not like an alien or anything like that.
Yeah, okay.
It's a person, but they've got a shit ton of armor and ridiculous weapons.
Okay.
But anyway, it spawns the end dude. Completely without friends, and it's just 4 of you versus 1 of him. And yeah, he does his own damage, but he focus fires 1 person, so the other 3 can just lay into him. And from him, you get the best loot in the game.
Right.
So people were just farming this dude left and right, and because of the exploit, they're ending up with gear that is just unbelievably powerful. They're going into the PvP area and just laying waste to everyone else.
Wow, ooh, that's nice.
So they're glitching to get amazingly OP gear that is hard earned, typically.
Yeah.
Farming it out, getting like a gear. The new instituted gear score thing is how high your gear is.
Yeah.
My max is like 170 right now, but there's people out there that have like 230s.
Whoa.
And like 200 is like balls out high.
Right.
But there's people that have 240 gear on all their slots. except for like one or something like that. It's nuts. So, Ubisoft has kind of shot themselves in the foot a little bit, and I'm a little disappointed with them in their decision. But they've completely taken the Incursion Loot out of the game. Like, you can't legitimately do the Incursion and get the loot anymore because they can't fix the glitch in a soft patch or in a hot fix.
Oh, yeah.
So you can't legitimately do this thing and get gear anymore. And if they catch you trying to glitch, they ban your account. And if they catch you with a gear score of like 240, they review your play logs. And if they think that you've been cheating, they ban your account.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
But there's still people out there that they haven't caught that are fucking everybody up, and there's nothing we can do about it.
Wait, I thought you said they pulled the loot. Or is it just
No,
drop
they
anymore?
they pulled the ability to get it.
Oh.
So they still have their high-level gear.
Oh, so that was just... All right, so that's just dumb all around.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant they just pulled it from the game entirely.
No, they didn't pull it out
Okay.
like
Yeah,
entirely.
I feel like the best way
They
to
pulled
handle
the
that would
ability
just-
for it to drop out.
So they did the worst of both worlds. So now the people
Yeah.
who have it are just better than everyone else, and there's no way anyone can catch up.
Yep. That is
All right,
correct.
that's real stupid.
Yeah,
All right.
it's pretty dumb.
Ryan, tell me, as someone, maybe you know this, maybe you don't, as someone who's worked on a big MMO like that, is it possible just to be like, okay, this equipment is invalid now? Can you go like?
I mean, from the technical standpoint, it is. So the tricky points that you run into there are like independent. I haven't played the Division, so I don't know how the systems work.
right?
But if you look at it like a game like WoW, presumably, if I got my new piece of raid gear, I took if I got a new chest piece, I probably went right from there and took my old chest piece and disenchanted
trashed
it or vendored it. If you a month later say, oh, people have been exploiting this, we're deleting this loot, it's technically possible to just be like, this item, poof, gone.
It doesn't exist in game anymore.
Yeah, like you can remove it from everyone who has it and make it completely non-existent. The only issue is like people who had it that like they probably don't have their old gear, so it's not quite like saying we're resetting it. It's just essentially like you now have gaps in your gear, which is rough.
Super rough.
It's a tricky. I mean, like I think the solution. The first solution that comes to mind for me, obviously not working on the game, would just be to bump the level of everything down to like what was normal before.
Right.
But you know,
At least as a hot fix.
yeah, because I mean that way it's like you have all this gear, but it's no better than anybody else or whatever.
But then that screws over the people that got it legitimately.
Well, not really. As long as it's like what they would have expected people had before. I mean, the people who got it legitimately didn't get anything better, but they shouldn't be worse off than they were before.
Well, yeah.
I think that's a trick. You want to make sure that you're not screwing over people by like making them worse than they were before the whole thing happened.
Right.
So basically, you pick some values and be like, okay, this equipment that was super good is now just pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, if the last raid tier dropped level 200 loot and this one dropped level 240, you can just say, all right, all the loot that's level 240 is now level 200.
Right.
So it's no better, but it's no worse than it was before.
You're still doing pretty well,
Yeah.
but you're now.
You shouldn't be any worse than you were when you started the patch. It's just
and it's just like maybe when you fix things, it can be like, okay, well, now you
yeah,
can
that
either
or the
get
latest
the better loot, or
yeah, they add
this
new
is-
gear and that's got better stats. But
Yeah.
no, that's always tricky when you run into exploits like that.
Right.
I mean, that is a really rough situation.
But the other thing, so the two games that I play that are in the world of this type of game going back to back are obviously The Division and Destiny. These games are kind of at each other's throats to kind of get that core audience.
Mm-hmm.
So Destiny released a planned update that was going to have content, and it was going to have new weapons, and it was going to be just amazing, right? And this was going to be the thing that brought everybody back to Destiny.
Mm-hmm.
So they released one new mission and one kind of half-assed mission. A little bit of new gear, slightly higher light level, and a new mode that goes back to the Prison of Elders, which was like a trials type thing.
Okay.
But it's just 3 rounds of boss killing, and then that's it. So it's just like, I got a mission, I got a new endgame thing that takes 15 minutes that you can just farm exotic gear out of, legitimately.
Mm-hmm.
And a little bit of a light level cap. And that's pretty much it. It's just like this was going to be the content that brought all your players back. Like this is an afternoon's worth of stuff.
Right. Yeah, that's rough.
It's and then all this shit with Division happens. Like, I mean, I've played both updates. I still really like the Division. I haven't done the Incursion yet, so it hasn't affected me in any way, shape, or form. I haven't gone into the Dark Zone since because, again, I haven't had time to group up with people to do the Incursion, let alone go into the Dark Zone. And now it's just like, well, I mean, I can farm really high-level gear legitimately by doing they made it in the Division, so if you kill a named guy at the end of like a regular hard mission, you get a high-end piece of gear, but it's not as high-end, obviously, as the Incursion.
Sure.
So I've just been farming those and just kind of getting my gear score up. When they fix all the Incursion crap, though, I'm going to go back in clearly because that'll be cool once they fix it.
Right. That sounds neat.
But Destiny, man, I was really disappointed. I know at sometime within this year, they're going probably in September, which is when they do all their major releases. There's going to be one big Destiny update.
Right.
They've already announced it's going to be a whole bunch of new content. It's going to be a big update. And then the following year, 2017, they announced that Destiny 2 is coming out.
Oh, no.
And I'm amped about that. I don't play Destiny as much as I used to, but that doesn't mean that I don't still love the game.
Sure,
because I really do. I'm just really burnt out on it.
Yeah, totally. And especially with the, like progression looty games, like you get to a point where like, all right, I've beaten the raid tier. Like, there's
Right.
I can farm it or take a break, and usually take a break is not a bad call.
We were at a point where we were doing the challenge mode raid every week, beating it with 3 characters in a night, and just like that was Tuesday. That's what we did on Tuesdays,
Right?
And that was cool for like 4 or 5 months, and then I was just like, okay, I got to take a step back from this, or I'm just going to end up hating this game. And I've put way too many hours in it to hate it. So
right,
it is what it is.
So speaking of games that are on and off and are loot based, that reminded me, Diablo's new season starts a week from this Friday, so April 29th. Next Friday, if you're listening, not tomorrow if you're listening is the day release, but next Friday.
Right. That means me and you got some work to do.
What do you mean?
We're going to run that new season.
Oh yeah, when it comes out, absolutely. Yeah. No, I'm psyched. New seasons are always super fun in Diablo. It's just a new, chance to start fresh and level some new characters and kill some demons and get some loot. Man,
try some
it's
new
gonna be
dumb
good.
stuff.
I'm excited.
I've decided I think that I'm going to play a witch doctor this time around.
Nice.
Never played one of those before. I want to summon some evil baddies.
Do it.
Have them
summon it up.
Have them run around and do my bidding.
Yeah.
At least I think that's what a witch doctor does.
That's one of the things you can do with them. Yeah.
Yeah. So
get some pets.
I'm gonna do that. That'll be cool. I've done the barbarian. I've done the
Demon Hunter.
Demon Hunter. I've done that. I've my very first playthrough of D3. I did a mage, or not a mage, a wizard.
Wizard. Yeah.
So I think it's time for a witch doctor.
Yeah, I haven't decided what I want to do yet this season. I got a week and a half to figure it out. So
the barb was the cheesiest one so far. It's just spin to win,
spin
man.
to win, yeah, man. That was good times.
I mean, that was Diablo. That was how it was back in Diablo 2.
You just run into an altercation with a zillion dudes. Your buddy's getting torn up, and you just spin to win for 40, 50 seconds. It's just nothing.
The life of the barbarian, man.
God, what a mess. But yeah. Anyway. Wow, this has been a full episode. Let's get into the email real quick. We got 2 emails.
Oh, right. We still have emails.
What have you been playing, Mike? Yeah. I apologize.
Thank you. No, I've hit a few of the big indie ones that I've been meaning to. I wrapped up that Odalis, the Dark Call game that I mentioned last time. Really cool. It's like love child of Castlevania and Demon's Crest, like / Ghosts and Goblins. Distinct levels where you get power-ups throughout, and you have equipment that lets you access newer areas. You can go back to previous levels. It was really fun. I played This War of Mine, which is harsh, real harsh, because you play a civilian in a war zone during like a civil war,
right?
Where like a city has been cut off from any type of aid. So the game is basically played in 2 cycles. During the day, you have like your shelter, and you get up to 4 people in your shelter, and you try to upgrade it. So like you get parts so that you can build a heater, so that when winter comes, you don't die of hypothermia or. You
Seems
can,
wise.
yeah, you make like you upgrade your stove so it uses less fuel. You just basically try to build up this bombed out house so that you can survive until whatever the Civil War ends. And then at night, you pick some people to stay on guard duty or to sleep. You're going to need people to go on guard duty after like the first week because people are starting to get desperate and they will break into your house and steal your food unless you have, people on guard and weapons. And then one person will go out to scavenge, and it's, various areas where, some areas it's just like, okay, this is an abandoned house. You get in, you grab what you can. Other areas it's like, there's a sniper on top of a building. If you want to get to this other area where there's good loot because there's been a sniper here and no one wants to go near it, you got to like run through the street and hide. High risk, high reward situation.
Right.
And by the way, there's a guy that's stranded by a statue in the middle of the square who got hit in the leg, can't make it to the house, but there's a screaming baby in the house. And you're like, well, you could just kind of leave him, or, you could basically help him out, and, there's a tunnel you can help him get to, and so you can get back to his baby so he can get the medicine to his baby. I'm just like, oh God, I need to go hug Connor.
Right.
But it's really good.
What's the game called?
This War of Mine. There's a new expansion out, which I will not be playing, called The Kids Are All Right, where if you're in this War of Mine, it's just, it's 4 people, 4 adults in a house.
Right.
This War of Mine factors kids into it. And I'm just like, I don't think I'm strong enough to do that. That's rough. And then the other one I played was Axiom Verge, which was one of the more recent like Metroidvania-y type games. Got a lot of good praise. It's very good. I do have a couple of complaints about it. I think it goes on a little too long. And they have some really cool power-ups, and they do a lot of neat stuff. Like some areas require you to find like a code hidden somewhere in the area. And one of the big gimmicks of the game is that sort of, it's kind of like multiverse theory, but multiverse inside of a computer. So one of your guns is basically this weird kind of hacking gun that will kind of alter the code of an area. So if you're trying to find a code to open a door, you can hit a certain bad guy in an area with this hacking gun, and suddenly they start flashing letters. And so you copy down the letters, and you get an item that's called basically a passcode generator or passcode input device, and then it'll alter an area so that you can go through and get an item.
Whoa.
It's really cool. My one big qualm was that like by the end of the game, you don't have a power up like in Metroid that's just like flight. And they have these really big areas. It's a huge game. Huge. But by the end of the game, like I want to skip through it all and be like, okay, I'm looking for my items. I'm trying to get my items, but I'm still having to jump around really, do like the precision platforming stuff where I feel like I should just basically be able to just to zoom through and be like, okay, I'm going here. I'm going here. I'm going here. One fault with the game, but it's very good besides that. So yeah, that's what I've been playing.
Okay. Sweet. Sounds pretty good. Get these emails knocked out real quick. Last one came in while we were recording, actually.
Ooh.
And it's from our old buddy, Tyjet. It says, hey, MAGCast, Tyjet here. I hope this email isn't too late for episode 42. Unfortunately, it was, but I've already talked to him about that. He says, Huey, I'd love to game with you, but Minecraft isn't my thing. That's fair. Not everybody digs Minecraft like we do. That's fine. Says Final Fantasy XIV, Destiny, or maybe The Division. I think I'd be up for. If anybody on the cast cares, here's my PSN name, which I won't read out loud to everybody. He says, I mostly agree with Mike about the Fire Emblem Fates. Great game that didn't need to be split the way it was. No. With second-generation characters shoehorned in. Also looking forward to Bravely Second, which is now out. I'm
playing that right now, and it's very similar to the first one. They hook it early with some plot twists where it's like, you have the some of the original characters and shit goes down. But they're doing a really good job of keeping it fresh so far by not just having you play through the same classes. You kind of have the same general idea. Like I've got a wizard class. It's like a black mage, but instead of having your fire, blizzard, blizzaga,
Right.
whatever spells. You have sort of weaker variants of them that affect everybody. And then you have this ability called Spellcraft, which lets you do different things with them. Like you can cast a spell as a mist effect, which will damage guys over time. You can alter it with a dart effect, which will let you attack first with it before anyone else. A wall effect, which will basically, if anyone attacks you, they get hit with the magic. So that's cool. There's like a fencer where it's like, different stances that you can do throughout the battle. But they do include some of the original classes from Bravely Default that you can acquire through subquests, but they're not the main focus. The main focus is on these new classes, which I think is really good.
Gotcha.
But it's very fun so far. I love it.
Well, it seems like you and Tyjet are getting along these days.
Yeah, he's you have to refresh my memory. Is he the one who saw me Stormman at Magfest?
No, that was a completely different person. This was like a year ago when Tyjet first started emailing. You guys were going bickering back and forth a bit. I'm glad things have calmed down.
I mean, I'm trying to, after storming out of Magfest, I'm trying to be more chill.
But he's also agreeing with you on things, which you like.
I do like it when people agree with me.
He says, anywho, the real reason for this email was my mobile gaming score. As we know, Huey ended up with 89,000. Right at the buzzer, too.
Yeah.
He got the high score at 89,000 as finishing recording that episode. He says, didn't spend as much time with this one as I did with Dots, but I think I've hit the highest score I can for now. Punch Quest mode, 126,240.
Damn.
Tyjet won by an amazingly large margin.
Yeah.
Huey, you got knocked the fuck out.
Huey got put down. He sent a screenshot. I have it verified right here.
Nice.
So, Tyjet's the winner of that mobile game challenge.
Yeah.
It's not. I'm not going to say it's late. He did submit this while we were recording, so he didn't have an extra 2 weeks to play.
We also haven't started a new one, so it doesn't really
We also
matter.
exactly. We haven't started a new one yet.
So, Tyjet, if you have a game you would like to submit for the mobile gaming challenge,
It needs to be verified on both iOS and Android.
Yes. But if you have one, send us another email at
So
podcast@magfest.org.
Works better with a third person.
Yeah.
I like that.
I
Yeah,
like
sorry,
that we told someone who sent us an email where to send an email.
Yeah.
That makes
Sometimes you just got to do it, man.
Yeah, man.
And the next email comes from a man who was traveling great distances, and by great distances I mean New York. He's our old pal Jeremy. Sends an email. He says, my oh-so-late mag wrap-up. He hasn't sent us an email since Magfest. Can you believe that? Wow. He says, hey, dudes, forgive my
doesn't feel like
tardiness in the
it's
fanboy
been that
department. Mag was a blast this year, and I came away with one random question and one tiny suggestion. Okay. First, the question. What's the deal with the red NSX that's always parked out front of the hotel the entire weekend with the hentai on the license plate? Is that the ballerist of valet parking spots available for some hentai tycoon can afford? That car's there every single
I
year.
have no idea what you're talking about.
There's a Acura Nsx, which is like a very exotic looking sports car from the early 90s, early to mid 90s. And it's just a hot car. This car is in pristine condition, at least from what I've seen. And it's got hentai as the license plate. Virginia plate hentai. And it's there every year. I have absolutely no idea.
It's just like parked out front the entire
the entire time.
like in the whole
You know where like the taxis
valet
and all
part?
the valet? No, not even like valet off site, like outside of the front door.
that's weird.
And it's all the way across, because you know how there's like the pillars for the awning?
Yeah.
It's all the way on the far side where the pillars are. And it's there all weekend. Doesn't
Maybe
move.
it's like a preferred Gaylord customer or something. I don't know.
I don't know, but it's there every year, and it's there all weekend.
Interesting.
From open to close.
Can you look up information on license plates?
I believe you can see if they exist or not.
Yeah.
I think everything else is kept relatively private.
Does anyone know any corrupt police we can use to run that plate?
I mean, somebody
If you
probably
do,
knows.
send us a note.
Right. If you know whose car that is, let us know. I'd
I'm
love to know,
curious.
because I have no idea whose it is, but I know it's there every year, and I have noticed
Yeah.
it before.
Huh.
That's
So
a
we
good
just
question,
gotta-
Jeremy.
So
I have
next
no
year
idea.
we should just set up a team and stake it
Do a
out
sting,
until
yeah.
somebody parks it.
Yeah,
Take turns, take shifts,
just
watching.
Hey, you hentai car. Who the fuck are you?
Get a room in the
hey,
hotel.
Dom, how's it going?
Yeah, right. Dom did buy a new car, but it wasn't one of those. Next up, he's got a suggestion. This is a suggestion for MagFest as a whole. He says, kindly ask or teach Dak about proper mouth-to-mic distance. Now, Mike, you have this problem, but exactly backwards from what he's referring to.
Oh, really?
So he says, the charity auction was a riot as always, but my man Max is out that mic all the time. You on the show sometimes are way too quiet because your mic distance changes drastically. You don't eat the
I'm
mic
fidgety.
like some people. I'm fidgety too. I fidget all the time, but I'm constantly adjusting the mic. But that's okay. You did really good. I've been paying attention this episode. Well done.
I try.
True.
Well done.
You
Well
know,
done.
the different distances your mouth is from the microphone, it can really make a difference in what you sound like on a recording or like on a set of speakers in a
God damn
room
it.
or anything like that. It's
I have
really
to,
mind blowing how that
I hate
happens.
you. I have to edit this, and I'm it's
No,
gonna be
no.
right there.
The whole point is that you can hear. You can't.
Oh,
that's
that's
way
true.
less interesting if you can't hear the difference.
Yeah.
It's true.
Oh, you know what? You know what it is with me? I'm usually drinking.
yeah.
So it's just like, I got to move the mic back so I can drink, and then
When
I
you
take
put
my
it-
drink,
right.
and then I move it back.
Oh, I thought you meant you were usually drinking, so your head's just kind of like wobbling around on the drunk track.
That's where I thought he was going. That wasn't the
So
case.
I was playing this video game.
I don't think
the
I've
other
fallen
day.
asleep during a MAGCast. I've come close a couple times, like when it was like a long
You've
day.
completely zoned out into playing video games.
I mean,
before.
yeah. Like when you guys talk, when there was 5 of us and you and Huey are talking about Destiny for half an hour, I'm just
Well,
like,
sometimes
blah, blah,
important
blah,
games
blah,
need
blah.
to be talked about. Anyway, he says, in fact, that wouldn't be a bad little PSA to toss out at staff meetings or whatnot. We went to the Rocket League tournament, and the guy commentating was really funny, but making our ears bleed just a touch. That's something that I'll make a note of, because that's true. Microphone proper use and etiquette is definitely a thing.
That was probably in the
Yep.
game room, though.
It was probably in the LAN room. It depends on where the Rocket League was.
I think there was a Rocket League tournament. There was a Rocket League tournament in the game room.
in consoles. There was also one in LAN, so it depends
Yeah.
on which one. In any event, I think that's something that I'll bring up at the next Mag.
Yeah, it's good.
staff
I think
meeting.
a lot of people, like, if you've never used microphones before, like, I don't know if people just get excited that they're getting to use a microphone.
I think
or
that's
whatever, but,
exactly
like,
what it is.
Everybody like grabs it and cups it, and
They're just talking into it like this,
Right.
and they're like, "What up? It's DJ Armai. Let's throw down." Like,
and that
Yeah.
sounds. You can look at the waveforms right there on the computer.
God, that's gonna be a night. I'm gonna have to
It's
turn
like
the volume of
real
that
good.
one down, make poor Jeremy's ears bleed some more.
What was
Sorry.
your DJ name again?
I don't know,
Okay.
DJ Rymai.
something like that.
He says, in other non-Mag event specific news, did any of you snag the free PS Plus games in February and March? Helldivers and Broforce. I did. I've only played Broforce. That game is incredible. Broforce is a riot.
I saw like stuff for it when it was in early access or something.
Dude,
It
that
looked
game is so
hilarious.
funny. It's so
Oh, yeah.
funny. I love it. And if you're on PSN and you haven't added me, Jeremy, I find that kind of weird, but feel free to add me. Anybody can add me on PSN. I'll give my screen name out. I don't give a shit. It's Big Adam Fest, all one word, super easy. Add me. I'll totally play Broforce with people. That'll be awesome. He says, I was also on the fence about Magstock after the monsoon last year. I swear I've camped about maybe 3 times in the past 10 years, and it's rained its ass off every single time. That was the last fucking night I'm ever spending in a tent. But luckily I managed to book the last cabin they had available because I was surprised how expensive RV rentals are too. My God.
Yeah.
We were, me, Ryan, Ashley, Orvie, Annie, Huey, we're all considering renting like a 7-person RV. And we saw the prices and promptly about faced because it is nuts.
Well, I can imagine they're expensive. How much are they for a weekend?
It was like what, $1,700, Ryan?
It was quadruple digits.
Yeah, it was crazy.
I mean, you think about that in terms, if you're splitting it with 7 people. that's
$200 for the weekend though, and you also have to pay their RV spot fee.
not- yeah.
It's just like,
I mean, that's
fuck it, I'll
like
risk it in a tent, I guess.
when normal people pay for the Gaylord, though, non-staffers. Pay for
Right?
the Gaylord.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. No,
that's-
I mean it. You're right. Let's see here.
Gaylord's also.
If I hadn't got a cabin, I was looking into just
Yeah.
renting a van or a box truck from U-Haul
think
and tossing an air mattress in
7-person
it.
RV would
Nice.
Don't do
pretty
that,
ripe.
please. By the way, He's talking about potentially renting a box truck or box van if he couldn't get a cabin and putting an air mattress in the back of it. That's a horrible idea.
You would die of heat
and
stroke.
you could absolutely die of heat stroke.
Yeah.
Don't do that, please. Nobody ever.
Did you hear about the kid at Google that like some guy went to work at Google out of college and like he just rented a box truck and lived in the parking lot at Google and showered on campus
that's
and ate
a pretty
there and stuff?
horrible idea.
I don't know. It sounded like it worked out pretty well.
He says, I just have to get a little creative with tarp mesh door and run a fan or something. Yeah, I think, yeah. A fan is the beginning of a potentially possible minute good idea. Everything else is not a good
maybe
idea.
if you got like a refrigerated box
Yeah,
truck.
I was about to say, just get a refrigerator truck.
That would be,
Problem solved.
I'd come hang out on that. It'd be,
borrow
'cause it's
one
hot
from
as
the
fuck
fish
at
market,
Max
but
Tuck
then
usually.
you're gonna smell like fish the entire time.
Borrow
He
one from like
says-
a barbecue place.
He says at the end here.
But then you're gonna be the one smelling of barbecue everywhere you go.
That's a bad thing.
Yeah, really.
It's gonna turn into that episode of Seinfeld where Kramer was suntanning with butter.
With butter. Yeah, he turns
Yeah.
himself into a giant turkey. Oh, don't test my Seinfeld trivia, please.
I'm not. I'm just
Please.
saying.
Come on.
It's gonna turn into that. So
Come
like,
on.
Ryan rents out like the pit beef truck, and then by the end of the weekend, you're looking at him, and he was just like a cartoonish piece of meat on a giant bone, like in the cartoons.
I don't have cartoon vision.
You should. It's great.
I don't really like cartoons all that much. We've been down this road.
I know. I don't understand it.
That's because I'm a horrible person. He rounds off with
Yeah.
saying, and sorry Punch Quest wasn't very good. My sister and I honestly don't do much mobile gaming outside of your challenges. So we were just perusing our mobile gaming for something people seem to like. That's not a bad way to do it.
Yeah.
I might start doing that actually. Oh man, that's pretty good. The only real strategy I could find for higher scores was stringing as many consecutive hits together as possible by hitting random objects like torches and treasure when there was a break in enemies. Anyway, I hope Huey's Mustang is sorted out, and I look forward to the next episode. Signed, Jeremy. His Mustang is, for the most part, sorted out from the problems that you and I spoke of last. We found out that it wasn't the fuel filter, although we did replace that anyway, and by replace I mean install, because the last person that owned Huey's car did not have a fuel filter on the entire car. Some
That's no
redneck
good.
replaced the fuel filter with a piece of rubber hose. So
Oh, wow. All right.
Great.
that's a bummer. His carb is super dirty because of it, but
Yeah.
he's getting an engine rebuild, so it's fine. We did find out that the actual issue was not fuel filter related at all, or lack of related at all. It was actually the mechanical fuel pump itself was busted. Huey and I went to AutoZone and got one for $13, but it was too dark by the time we got back to replace it. So that's our next project. For anybody who gives a shit about Huey's classic car, it's up and coming. God, that car's going to be... I'm going to say this because he's not here. He'll listen to it and rub it in my face later. I'm a Chevy guy, always have been. He knows that. I get on him all the time. Huey and I are basically the same person, but with very slight differences. I worked at a Blockbuster. He worked at a Hollywood Video. I worked at a Jiffy Lube. He worked at the Tire Center and BJ's Wholesale Club. It just, our whole lives are this
Like
weird parallel.
Mirror
Yeah.
universe.
He's like
versions of each
Bizarro
other.
Adam, and I'm like Bizarro Huey, is essentially what it
crazy.
is.
One of you really needs to shave.
Yeah, right? So, Ford Mustang's his jam. I'm a Camaro guy. Always been, always will be. I will own a classic Camaro one day in my life. But his Mustang is gorgeous, and it's going to be awesome. And he's gone over all of his plans, and he's got everything lined out with a timeline. And some of us at MAGCast have talked, and we're going to be taking... I haven't told you about this yet, Mike, but you're definitely welcome
Nope.
to come. In like 2 or 3 years, we're going to go on a road trip across America. It's being planned, and he's taking his Mustang, and we're going to have a bus, and it's going to be awesome. And I can't wait to get that car out on the road. It's going to be cool. But anyway, that's just my thoughts.
All right.
And this is a very small episode. Thanks for sticking around.
And yet, probably one of our longest.
Not even fucking close.
Really?
We have like an hour and 45-minute episode from
I
2
didn't say it
Magfest
was
ago.
our longest. I thought it was one of.
This is about average.
Hour and 20? Okay.
Yeah. So, thanks again for listening. This has been episode 43. Huey and Orvie will be back next time, hopefully. Hopefully Orvie doesn't fall asleep in Delaware again. That would be
I
good.
hate it when that happens.
I
man.
really hate it when that happens. Anyway, my name's Big Adam.
I'm Ryan.
Click and clack the Tappet brothers.
My God. Thanks for listening. See you later.
The views and opinions expressed in this podcast are those of the hosts, guests, and artists featured on the show. They are not necessarily the views or opinions of Magfest itself. Any questions, comments, or complaints can be sent to podcast@magfest.org.